Brian Eckert. Brian is currently a third-year doctoral candidate in the school psychology program at GZAP. He received his bachelor's degree in psychology from Rutgers University in 2014. Brian participated in the collaborative community-based learning program, worked as an undergraduate intern at the Douglas Developmental Disabilities Center, and completed an internship at the Child Therapeutic Day School as an undergraduate behavioral assistant. He completed his school-based practicum on a child study team in the Middleton Public Schools, worked as a consultant, and is now the co-team leader of the Rutgers Schools of Character team in New Brunswick. Works as a teaching assistant for the Introduction to Clinical and School Psychology, provides psychotherapeutic services as a counselor at the Highland Park Community Teen Center, and he is also working to increase the child and adolescent referrals in the Psychological Services Clinic.
Thank you, Ryan, for that kind introduction. Just a couple weeks ago, I attended a nice, fancy Rutgers event where I had the privilege of seeing my dad stand up at a podium and receive an award called the Scarlet Forever Award. Aside from feeling an overwhelming sense of pride for his accomplishments, I couldn't help but reflect upon the words that were used to describe my dad, Scarlet Forever. While I know my dad will continue to serve the university well into his retirement, it is clear that he has trained all of his children to continue his work even further. I must add that out of 3 children, each having attended Rutgers, I officially have the longest Rutgers schooling tenure, sitting comfortably at 7 years. In any case, I find it immensely satisfying to continue his legacy and legitimize his award as I work to serve Rutgers in the spirit of bleeding Scarlet Forever. On behalf of all the students, I would like to thank each and every donor here today for your generous contributions. Your support has enabled students like myself to pursue the best graduate training experience in applied psychology in the country. The Starr Fellowship, established by Greg and Anna Brown, is named after 2 pioneers in our history, Henry and Anna Starr. Henry Starr was the founder of our Psychological Services Clinic in 1928. And was succeeded by his wife, Anna Starr. It is also important to point out that Anna was promoted to professor of psychology during this time and became the first female full-time professor at Rutgers. During Anna Starr's tenure as director, one of her most notable contributions was the work she did for children suffering from the psychological effects of war. It is an incredible honor to continue this work in Henry and Anna's name almost 90 years later. As a Starr Fellow alongside Hannah Schwartzbaum, I have had the opportunity to work with the current clinic director, Dr. Craig Springer, to expand our child and adolescent client base. In this effort, we have been able to establish partnerships with both public and private schools, local and statewide child-serving organizations, religious institutions, and medical offices. While each of these partnerships may look different, the goal of our efforts has been to make our psychological services, including both assessment and psychotherapy, accessible to more children and families in the community. To monitor our progress, clinic and assessment coordinators have started recording referral sources to track where our referrals are coming from, and this data will then be reviewed and used to inform our continuing outreach efforts. For any of you who have not been to the clinic recently, I encourage you to stop by our open house on Thursday, December 1st from 4:30 to 8:30 in the evening. We are proud to say that on most nights the clinic is booked to capacity, and it would be wonderful for us to share with you all the latest advancements that have occurred within the facility, including but not limited to our new online record keeping system and video technology. On a more personal note, I would like to thank Greg and Anna Brown for their generosity in establishing and supporting the Starr Fellowship. This fellowship has provided me with a training experience like no other. I am networking and building connections with top-level school administrators across the state, working collaboratively with an extremely progressive team of clinic staff, and continuing to explore the needs of children and their families in the community. Once again, on behalf of all the students, I would like to thank each and every one of our donors for your heartfelt contributions. To close, I would like to share a quote by Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. And I just want to add that Brian is one of the students that I met quite early in my arrival here, and he is warm and wonderful and kind. And I would love to refer anyone to you once you finish with your degree.